What is up, guys? We're back with another video. This is going to be going over the 1.4 patch for Paladins. So if you guys want more videos like this in the future, drop a like. If you are new, subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more Paladins videos after this patch does release. I'm going to wait for this patch to release. I'm going to be doing some move or guides to certain champions and stuff like that. A lot of videos, so if you don't want to miss any of that, subscribe. Going to be discussing this entire patch. We have a lot of changes. This does go live, I think, like 2 weeks on the 21st or 22nd of this month. So a lot of stuff to talk about in this video. Also, if I get some of this stuff wrong in this video, please let me know in the comment section down below, or if there's some stuff I did not go over, if you have any opinions on anything, let me know in the comment section down below. That'd be great. Right here we have pretty much the total summary. They're actually missing Meldamba on here. I don't know if they forgot about Meldamba, but Meldamba did get a bit of a change as well. Maybe it's not significant enough to be put on here, but we got some cool buffs. Androxus, Khan, all those. Got some really good buffs here. Mainly Androxus and Tyra, I think, have the two biggest buffs, in my opinion. Got some nerfs. Again, Cassie got nerfed. Cassie, I think, like the last couple patches has got like serious nerfs. Another serious nerf for Cassie. They just do not like Cassie, honestly. And we got some changes to Maeve, which is a huge change for her. I'm surprised they did not include Skye on here. They said they were going to be giving Skye a total rework, and I'm surprised she is not included in this patch. She's actually the same. Nothing has changed with her, so that's unfortunate. So, and Victor got a huge change as well. Probably the two main ones here, along with Makoa. And we also have a new event that's going to be happening, which I'll be playing the shit out of. And we got like 4 new skins. So just gonna go over this event real quick. There's some pretty cool prizes here. I got 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 gold, some MVP poses, a lot of cool stuff. Really looking forward to this Canessa Serpentine pose because I heard it's supposed to be really cool. A lot of other cool stuff, animated sprays. You got the Fire Tongue avatar, that would be kind of cool, depending on how it looks. So a lot of cool stuff. You can get to 60. I'm definitely going to be trying to get to 60, honestly. Dragon Collar bundle. Now, this is one thing I really don't agree with. I think 1,200 crystals for 4 skins is a bit overpriced. I think 750 crystals would have been perfect pricing. I think they're asking a little bit too much. High res, you're asking a little bit too much for all these skins. Don't get me wrong, the skins look kind of cool. In my opinion, they all look really good. But for 3 skins plus 1, technically it's not really free because you're paying for it. They just give you it just because you bought the entire Dragon's Collar bundle. But 1,200 is a little bit too much. If I had to put a price range for crystals, I would say like 750. I think 750 is fair. I think 1,200 is a little bit too much for 4 skins. They give you a choice. They give you 1 vault key, so you can pick pretty much any skin you want out of like a certain amount of skins. They'll have like a vault or something. Got the new Shaolin Outlaw, the Dragonborn Moji skin, and the Khan Overlord skin, which look pretty dope. We're going to be looking at those. Right here is the Shaolin new skin. It also gives you some other stuff if you buy it, I guess. You get a loading frame, some other stuff. Pretty much stuff that you get probably the next season in the Battle Pass anyways. We got the new Moji one, which looks kind of cool. The only thing I really don't like about the Moji one is the voice pack. The voice pack sounds like it doesn't fit it whatsoever. That's the only thing I really don't like about the Moji. If you guys have heard the voice packs, I'm not going to go over those in this video, but if you guys want to go look for those, by all means do so. And we have the Khan, the new one. The Khan looks really cool. I think after this patch, Khan is probably going to be the top frontliner in the game, definitely with this patch. And if it's any banned in your ranked battle or your ranked match, then you need to pick it up. You need to pick it up and put it on your team because, or on your comp, probably the best frontliner for this patch. Also got the vault. Got all these skins here that you can choose from. They're gonna give you a 1 vault key if you buy the Dragon bundle, so you can pick out of any of these ones. The Maeve is probably my favorite one, or the Academic Skye. I don't know why anybody would not choose the Aurora Furia though, because that's the newest skin. Again, it looks pretty cool. General, got some customization. Not gonna go over really the customization. It's all stuff from the event, pretty much. We have some champion changes. Again, this is not going to go live for like another 2 weeks until the 21st, 22nd is what I heard. Not quite sure if that's accurate. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm going to go over these real quick. There's a lot to cover in this video, so it might be over 10 minutes. We have Androxus, probably with the biggest buff. With Defiance. Defiance actually, right now it's pretty much like super close. You pretty much have to be like really up close to your opponent for Defiance to even work and do damage. They actually changed it to the point where it'll have a lot more distance, increased range, and a reduced frontal cone. I'm not quite sure what that really means. If that's like a slightly little bit less of a hitbox, not quite sure what that means. Let me know in the comment section down below. Change functionality is extended energy punch. So Androxus, a huge buff. You can now hit multiple players with it as well, so that's insanely good. You're going to see a lot more Androxus, definitely, with this when 1.4 does drop. They also got a talent. I'm not quite sure what the talent really does, but it went from 40 to 50. Defiance is meant to ease a secure finishing move. That's pretty much what they said, which I agree with. Defiance is kind of useless unless you're at super close range, but by that point you have like little health, and you're either dead or you barely escape and just to be killed by somebody else. Most meant to be a easy, secure finishing move after a few shots from the revolver, but more often than not, it's the players are too far away to secure that hit, which I agree with. I 100% agree with what they said right here. The extended range will make Defiance move more because it's a damage option instead of being a button press only when you happen to be close to somebody. I could also see a lot more decks. Right now, there's not really too many decks that are really like centered around Defiant. So if you can create a card deck that's going to be centered around Defiance after this patch, you're going to be in some pretty good shape. Definitely, I think it's a card that as well that actually heals you for like up to like 600 damage or 600 health if you can get a kill with Defiance, or I think it's like 600 to 1000 health, one of those two. If you get a kill with Defiance, I can definitely see that be running a lot more. Right now it's not really too common just because Defiance really is kind of unreliable. Got Ash. I really don't use Ash too much, but I got a buff. Not quite sure what this really does for Ash. Probably one of the worst frontline options right now, honestly. I don't really see Ash too much. Assert dominance, increase the original strength of jump. So a buff for Ash. Not gonna really talk about too much. Not going to talk about the characters or the champions I really don't use that much. Bomb King, again, I really haven't had too much time to really use it. Royal Subjects, reduce the radius increase from 30 to 20%. So again, a buff for Bomb King. Buck had a huge change. Buck actually got nerfed, I think, a patch or two ago. Bucking Madness, a new effect. Eliminations increase your attack speed by 20% for 10 seconds. So it's actually going to be huge for Buck. Old Bucking Madness could be quite powerful if lined up correctly, but took too many qualifiers to be consistent. Many times the player would never activate the effect once during their games. It will give players 4 options when selecting their talents. So you can use Sustain, Control, Burst, or deep damage. So it gives players a lot more diversity in what they want to run with Buck, I guess. So that's a huge change for Buck. I do see Buck being a lot more used after this patch. Cassie again hit with another huge nerf, of course, because they don't like Cassie for some reason. I think Cassie is still one of the best damage dealers in the game, but I think after this patch, I think you're going to be seeing a huge rise in Tyra as well. Tyra and Victor got a huge buff, so which I'll be going over in a bit. Talents, Impulse, decrease the damage from 150. 100 damage decrease is a huge nerf, and it really hurts Cassie a lot. Granted, I think you can build a deck around Impulse, kind of, just to kind of negate this a little bit, or at least try to help it out. I'm not quite sure. I haven't used Cassie since I started playing the game, and I haven't really used it too much as well. Just because there's a lot better options I'm better with. Just Breathe was actually probably the main ability that you're going to be running. I think this was actually 70 feet. They changed to 120 feet, so now if it's 120 feet away, it would deal 850 damages per shot. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on it, but I think this was 70 feet before this patch. So another huge nerf to Cassie. Not quite sure how I feel about this. Again, I really don't use Cassie too much, but if I have to use her in ranked or anything like that, it's going to be kind of a pain in the ass to use now. And you're going to definitely have to build a deck around this to kind of negate this out a little bit more, or at least up some of her other better abilities. Just Breathe, previous scaling damage based on the distance made it hard for players to determine exactly where they should stand or what exactly benefit they were getting from doing so. New effects give the talent a clear identity of long-range options for Cassie. Whatever. Eevee got a huge buff. The Snow Globe has increased duration from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. Huge buff there. And the decreased energy cost from 60 to 50%. Very, very cool. You really don't see too much of Eevee, honestly, just because she's really, really glitchy. I think they're going to be fixing a lot of those glitches as well with her. So we'll be seeing a lot more Eevee. Removed 1 second cooldown reduction on blink, so you'll be able to blink a lot more and teleport around the map, especially with, I think she has an ability that where you can blink once, and then you can, if you blink again within like 10 or like a couple seconds, you can go back to your original spot. So that's kind of cool. Furia getting a huge nerf. I think Furia right now is probably one of the best supports in the game, at least currently. Kindled Soul has the range reduced down from 175 down to 120, so a huge nerf there. I haven't really used Furia that much. I actually, for my main healers, if I do have to play a support, I've pretty much used either Pip or Genos. I haven't really used too much of Furia. Hollowed Sight has these are actually cards. These are abilities. Cards reduced reveal length from 2 seconds down to 1 second, and Light of Dawn reduced from 100 down to 50. Again, I'm not quite sure what those cards actually were supposed to do, because again, I haven't really played Furia very much. But if anyone who knows and is like a really good player for it, let me know in the comment section down below. We're happy to reduce Furia's current level of lethality, but her healing output is competing too much with other supports, which I do kind of agree with slightly. We brought down the strength of her shielding card and reduced her damage of Kindled Soul to make it healing more risky and Endeavor for the Angel of Vengeance. So pretty much I did it so you don't have to use her as like a main healer, and there's a lot more other options that can be a little bit better. Growth got a huge buff in this patch. Lightning Staff now deals up to 30% increased damage the longer you are on the target, which is kind of cool. Definitely needs it because you see like none of Gronk in ranked. Healing Totem now deploys at 100 feet range, which is really, really needed. Tempest now grants flight, increased radius, and increased duration. Very, very cool. Got some talents. Maelstrom increased the shock pulse cooldown by 0.3 to 0.5 seconds. Not really too much of a change, but I think it will help. And Spirit Domain Lightning Staff now applies a heal to allies, so that's kind of cool. We have Grover. Grover again is one of those healers where you don't really see too much, unless you're really good with the character. Blossom reduced cooldown from 12 to 10 seconds, so not a big change, but I think it will help again. Talon's Deep Root effect, a new effect. We have Crippling Throw. Well, now, shit, a little bit of lag there. We're still recording. Yeah, we are. Crippling Throw now roots for 1 second and bounces between enemies, which is very, very good. Relies on consistent passive healing, but feels lackluster compared to reactionary healers. Reducing the cooldown on Blossom makes his reactionary healing a bit more frequently. Naturally increases the strength of Rampant Blooming Talent. Upgrade Deep Roots, whatever. I really don't play Grover too much or see too much of Grover, so it's kind of one of those changes that are just Khan, again, got a huge nerf, or not a nerf, a buff in this patch, which I think makes him probably the best front line right now after this patch, in my opinion. Increase the shield effectiveness from 60 to 100%, so that's absolutely insane. We have Maeve, which got a huge change. This is actually going to be a huge game-breaking change for Maeve, because it's going to make her a lot better, a lot more consistent at getting kills. I do play Maeve once in a while, but there's not really too much reason right now to use Maeve over like Koga, or at least in casuals. I guess maybe in ranked if you pick it up as like, if it doesn't get banned or taken before you. Now executes at 35% health with Pounce, so if it has 35% or below health, you get a kill. So that's going to be a lot more consistent. Street Justice is intended to be a strong finishing move for Maeve, but it ends up becoming a catch-all damage options. The new effect helps dispense the original idea of Street Justice in a more balanced manner, which I do agree with this, so I'm pretty sure what this means is if it has 35% or below health on your opponent, you will get a KO. So that's really cool with Street Justice. Makoa gets a new effect to JB Jones' Locker. Haven't really played too much of Makoa, but I see a lot of ranked. It's one of those top front lines. Your spin shell now lasts until cancelled, and you can control its direction, so you're going to be a little bit more of a different playstyle with Makoa in the future. This talent opens up a completely new ability playstyle. Kind of cool. Maldamba has a few different reworks or different changes. I haven't really played too much of Maldamba. I really don't see too much of it, honestly. I guess you can see it. I do see it in ranked once in a while. We have talents. Wakano's Wrath. Increase the snake toss projectile speed from 20 to 200, so a huge buff there, and increase the internal stun timer from 3 to 4 seconds. And we have Ripened Gourd. New effect, Gourd has 50% chance not to go on cooldown, so you have a 50-50 chance to use the move twice, or to use the ability twice, and not have it being on a cooldown, so that's really cool. Gourd does not affect on stacks, so that's unfortunately there. Not going to go over the develop commentary. Emoji gets a huge nerf here. Reduce the cloud duration from 6 to 3 seconds. Well deserved. Remove move speed bonus on Toot. Pip got a cool little buff here. Combat Medic. Mainly when I run Pip, I just mainly run it as a main healer. Just to heal as much as possible, and I run like a deck that lets you heal as much as possible. And sometimes I run it as more of like a support, like assist Pip, but I haven't really ran too much of like an offensive Pip. Maybe with this patch I can maybe start doing that a little bit more. Combat Medic has a new effect. Your weapon shots will now also heal allies. Actively compete against Catalyst as the damage option for Pip. This new effect gives Pip players a better way of consistently healing their allies. Very cool. I also know somebody that really plays the shit out of Pip, and they are really insanely good with it. And you think Pip is not one of those main healers, but the way they play it is honestly makes it to the point where it's like one of those main healers. Getting over 100k heals per game, so that's how good they are. And putting off a shitload of damage as well. Ceres getting a bit of a buff. Increase the range of Restore Soul from 100 to 120, and Soul Collector increase max dex. Haven't really used Ceres, not going to comment too much on that. Shaolin got a nerf. Desert Shadow removed 2 seconds from stealth increase. Not quite sure how that's really going to affect Shaolin because I haven't really played him too much. Tyra, now this is one I'm going to really discuss because I really like the shit out of Tyra. I think it's really solid. She's really solid. Hunting Party has to be probably your best ability. If Hunting Party actually affects 2 targets with 1 use, this is going to be insanely good. I think one of the big issues right now with Tyra is getting pretty much just dominated by other damage users and flanks. Flanks are a real issue for Tyra. I think having Hunter's Mark is going to be insanely good for Tyra, especially with Hunting Party. Allows your party for your other teammates to do 25% more damage and see your opponents as well. Mercy Kill actually deals 35% max health, which is a huge buff as well. Before, I think it was, I'm not quite sure what it was before off the top of my head. I know it did a little bit more damage with this ability, for at least the grenade launcher. And we got cards. Reduced Hunter's Mark Reveal. Not going to really comment on that because I really don't use that one. Hunting Party is a good tool in coordination play, which I agree it is. It's an insanely good ability, but was outclassed by upfront values of Tyra's other talent. The second charge will make the Hunter's Mark playstyle more active and engaging and become a strong anti-flanker option for Tyra, which I really agree with, and it's something that's really needed. Mercy Kill's old damage delivery made it difficult to know when grenade launcher should be used. New damage delivery makes it using grenade launcher always a correct option. So now it's going to deal 35% of their max health, which is going to be a really, really good chunk of damage. So it's a really great finisher for getting your opponent low and to get the kill, which I agree with. Huge buff for Tyra. I think a really big rise in Tyra is going to be in effect. Drovold, probably if you guys want something that can counter, if you're playing casuals, if you want something that can pretty much just stop Koga, and if you're really into the Koga, play Drovold. It really shuts down Koga immensely. This is coming from a Koga main that plays the shit out of Koga and stuff like that, so Drovold really shuts him down. Can't Shadow Step, can't really do too much, especially when it has its shield up and stuff like that, and it does a shit more damage to you. Increase shield duration from 2 to 3 seconds and increase the cooldown from 9 to 8 seconds, so a nice buff. I think the main reason they're doing this is because, again, it's probably one of the best checks to Koga in the game, and I think that's why they're giving it a little bit of a buff. Change the card a little bit as well, I'm not going to discuss that. And we have Victor. as the last one. The assault rifle has improved hip fire consistency, and the talents firefight are now unlocked at default, but they changed gunnery, which I think is locked at default, and they changed it to level 12 now. And they added a new effect, gunnery. Enables 3 burst shot mode on your assault rifle, increasing damage and improving effectiveness at range, so it allows you to hit a lot more opponents at long range, which is something that Victor does struggle with. Suffers from an ability to deal with players at long distance engagements, so a little bit more of an option if you want to fight a little bit longer range with Victor. Vivian gets a bit of a buff. Not going to really discuss it too much because you really don't see Vivian that much in ranked, only really in casuals. Ying got a huge change. I really don't play Ying that much or see many people play Ying, at least in ranked. Ranked you see it once in a while, I guess, but not really too much in casuals. New effect, Shatter now instantly heals your target for 800 health, but no longer explodes illusions, so a little bit of a change. Pretty much all you really need to get gist of is new life exchange, gives players an option of reactionary healing in exchange for damage potential. Ying will have more of a heavily rely on teammates to protect her, but have an easier time keeping them alive. So, I think got some bug fixes I'm not going to discuss, but that's going to be the end of this video, guys. I know almost a 20-minute video, or a little over 20-minute video, but if you guys did make it this far, you guys want more videos like this in the future, let me know by dropping a like, leaving a comment, and subscribing for more videos like this in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next video.